Tonight, injured come-by-chance workers face off against their employer in court, and Dominion stores will soon look a little different.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Peter Cowan with your half-hour edition of Here and Now during the Olympics. Well, two companies facing occupational health and safety charges in relation to the fatal explosion at the Come-by-Chance Refinery had their first appearance in court today. Injured workers, family members and union officials packed the courtroom. Brea Renewable Fuels is facing 11 safety-related charges, Lorneville Mechanical 3 charges. The case is set over until next month. The union representing many workers at the refinery is bracing for a long court process.
Yes, the family's here today, and plus the injured workers. And we just came from victim services, and it's very frustrating. It's been 2 years, September 2nd, and it's a difficult time.
A 61-year-old man is dead in what police allege was a mid-morning hit and run by a drug-impaired driver in St. John's. It happened yesterday when the man was walking near Freshwater Road and Hamel Street. A 37-year-old man from Fox Harbour was reportedly driving a Dodge Ram when he struck the man and then drove away. The man died in hospital shortly after that. The police said they found the truck on George Street an hour later with the driver close by. He's accused of impaired driving causing death and failure to stop at the scene of a collision. Meanwhile, police in this province say they're plagued by impaired drivers, and new numbers show just how bad the problem is. Here now's Arlette Lazarenko reports.
Just last weekend, RCMP charged 6 people with impaired driving. It sounds like a lot, but unfortunately, it's not unusual. According to the RCMP's latest data, they've charged an average of 350 people with impaired driving in each of the last 3 years. That's almost one person a day.
We are catching and apprehending impaired drivers at all times of the day, evening, and night. And it involves, everyone of all ages, those that haven't even obtained a license yet, some underage drinkers that have been charged with impaired driving, as well as those in their 80s. So it's really not limited to an age, and it's definitely not limited to a gender or sex.
This is just the drivers RCMP officers stop. Garland believes there are many more driving under the radar, and it's not just a problem for the RCMP.
Unfortunately, in cases we've seen in our communities, tragedy strikes before a report can be made, and that is the frightening part of what we're dealing with here with impaired operation. So let's call it what it is. If you're getting behind the wheel while impaired, you're essentially in possession of a weapon.
The data from the RCMP shows that out of all the fatal crashes their officers have responded to in the past 3 years, nearly a third were caused by an impaired driver, and in most of those cases, the driver was drunk. Garland believes there are a number of reasons people choose to drive when they shouldn't, but the risks and the consequences are the same.
This is not a bad dream that you wake up from and it's gone. If this happens to you, you have life-altering consequences and repercussions to face for taking the life of another person.
Both Garland and Cadigan want people to report any suspected cases of impaired driving, saying that call could stop the next tragedy. Arlette Lazarenko, CBC News, St. John's.
To the West Coast now, police want the public's help locating a woman who's been missing since Saturday, and they say no detail is too insignificant. RCMP say Myra Jane Barter was last seen walking on the main road in Piccadilly. It's believed she was going berry picking. Barter reportedly has mobility issues and is without her cell phone. Rescue crews have conducted vast aerial and ground searches with no luck. Piccadilly residents are being asked to review any surveillance footage and report any sightings to police. Barter was last seen wearing a black pants, a light-colored shirt, and walking with a cane. While Ottawa says the European Union's restrictions on seal products has hurt people in this province. As we reported last night, the ban prohibits importing and selling all seal products in the member states. That ban is now under review, and Fisheries and Oceans Canada wants it repealed.
if the rules were to be repealed and replaced with imports of ethical and sustainably harvested seal products, I think that'll be great news for the sector, because not only would that will it open up this big market, but it might also set a precedent for other parts of the world where they might see that seal products are being imported in the EU, and that will showcase how sustainable our products are. And we hope that that'll help the seal sector increase its sales not only in the EU, but also in other parts of the world.
Fisheries and Oceans Canada says it'll continue to make its case to the EU and other countries over the coming months. Well, Loblaws is changing its look, and that includes all the Dominion stores in this province. The grocery retailer is moving towards what it calls a more value-driven approach that falls in line with real Canadian superstore locations in other parts of the country. Angela McIver has more on what customers can expect.
A new logo on the outside, along with a bit of education as you walk into the store, are just some of the new changes being touted by Superstore. But what customers really want to know is whether prices will be slashed.
It's still like scraping the bottom of the bucket just to afford just your basics. So it's definitely not been easy to buy groceries in Nova Scotia, that's for sure.
It's really spiking up. Like I came before 3 years in Canada, it wasn't that much, but if I compare that prices to right now, it's too much.
The Senior Vice President of Operations says there will be lower prices locked in for longer by rebranding all Atlantic locations under the same logo as stores in Western Canada and Ontario. Jonathan Carroll says it makes negotiating with suppliers easier.
But now we're 183 superstores. Our retail family got a little bit bigger, and it's exciting to see that, if we're buying a pallet deal, we can get a better price on that pallet deal and give that price back to our consumers.
In recent months, there's been an online push to boycott Loblaw stores because of high grocery prices. Carroll says these changes have nothing to do with that backlash. He says they've been in the works since last winter. And why is the rebranding in particular important? Like, why not just lower the prices?
Well, I think it's how you think about a business. So the Superstore business is technically 4 banners within our business, but we're one family. We are a retail family. And create that excitement for both our colleagues and our customers, you have to have that rebranding message so they can make it simplify and understand that message throughout the network.
New signs will continue going up at all 63 locations across Atlantic Canada in the coming weeks, but the company says customers should already notice price differences at the checkout. Angela McIver, CBC News, Lower Sackville.
Now, a spokesperson tells Here and Now that store names will not be changing. So that means here in Newfoundland and Labrador, Loblaw's stores will continue to go by the name Dominion. Well, a judge has approved the sale of the largest media company in Atlantic Canada, Saltwire, which runs the St. John's Telegram and many other papers in Atlantic Canada, is about to become part of Post Media. But as the CBC's Blair Rhodes reports, the deal doesn't include all of Saltwire's assets or its employees.
Post Media emerged as the best of 4 bidders to try to take over the insolvent Saltwire Media because it offered the best chance of preserving at least some local journalism. Some, but not all.
It's clear, and this was in the court report, that there are going to be cutbacks. The decisions regarding jobs are going to be made by Post Media, not by the Monitor.
One of the most glaring cutbacks will be in Newfoundland and Labrador because the presses that publish the St. John's Telegram are not part of the sale. As for what other assets and employees will make the jump to the new company, that's not yet clear. In the coming days and weeks, Post Media will approach those Saltwire employees it wants to keep. Those who aren't offered continued employment will be eligible to apply for government assistance under WEP, the Wage Earners Protection Program. The deal is supposed to close by August 24th, after which a transition period will begin. The companies will remain under court-ordered protection until mid-December. As he announced his decision to approve the deal, Justice John Keith spoke of how some of the Saltwire papers have been institutions in their communities, and the survival of local media is essential to our democracy. Justice Keith said, this deal isn't good news for everybody, but it represents a turning of the tide. Blair Rhodes, CBC News, Halifax.
Well, now to the West Coast, where the Stephenville Theatre Festival is celebrating its 46th season. And this year, it's bigger and blonder than ever. Corner Brook's Anna Barrett stars in the upcoming production of Legally Blonde, based on the popular movie. Here now swung by a rehearsal to learn more about the show and how the festival stays strong year after year.
I'm playing Elle Woods in Legally Blonde.
Amazing musical that's super popular. Everybody's been loving it so far. It's high energy, it's hilarious, music's fantastic, and if anybody's seen the movie, this is so much better.
It's such a dream come true, like I said, really. It's one of the biggest roles I can think of in musical theater, so it's been very challenging, which has been great. I love a good challenge. Definitely fuels me to push harder and be the best performer I can be.
I think what Stephenville has always been known for is our big Broadway in a small town, right? And we still do a lot of local content, you know, local productions, but I think what makes Stephenville unique is that, you know, you can see a New York level Broadway show here, and there's probably not many places east of Montreal where you really could do that, you know, and over the years we've really retained that reputation. And the bar as well. We've raised it and we keep raising it. And you know, that gets more difficult every year to beat what you did last year.
I do sing quite a lot. I don't leave the stage very often, so there's not really ever a chance to catch my breath, get a drink of water, and focus, refocus my energy. So it's a lot of hard singing, big range, which can be a struggle as well with such a demanding show. There's also a lot of dancing, which I find super fun. I love dancing.
It takes a lot of resources to put together this season and this company, this festival, and it's really just grown over the years. But fortunately, we're also very proud of our revenue streams. It's very diversified. Like right now, we're probably, of all the theater companies in the province, we're #1 when it comes to public sector support, fundraising. You know, we've raised over $40,000 this year just from local businesses.
It's so incredible. I'm so grateful. I've been coming back to Stephenville for the past 4 years actually with the theater festival, and while I'm in school for the past 4 years, I come back here in the summers, and every time I come back, it's just such an amazing professional environment to put myself in, especially during my education. I always find I learn more here than I do at school often. Just because the level is it's so high quality here. Our directors, our choreographers, music directors, everyone that's brought in from across Canada, it's really quite incredible. And to have that so close to home for me has been such a joy every summer. It's been great. Come on out, it's a great show.
Well, as we head through the weekend, we've had quite comfortable temperatures. The humidity is going to return, also some rain, all thanks to the remnants of Tropical Storm Debbie. We'll get into all the details coming up.
CBC.ca.
Actually, when you were talking about Debbie for a second, I was like, wait, is Debbie Cooper back? But no, Hurricane Debbie, very different thing, and not nearly as much fun.
No, no, we are going to see some rain certainly with this. Not a whole lot of wind with it, which is good news. But it's certainly going to bring the humidity back. Let's take a look at where we're sitting today. Definitely more comfortable temperatures, sitting between 23 degrees in St. John's to about 21 in Bonavista today. Really, temperatures are in the upper teens or low 20s, except up across Labrador. Much cooler temperatures between 11 and about 18 this afternoon. And again, the temperatures are going to start to get a lot more, or it's going to feel a lot more humid as we head towards Saturday and Sunday. And then as those remnants continue to move on, we are going to see a more comfortable, feeling a bit muggy, but certainly more comfortable than those humid conditions we will see on the weekend. So there's a look at Tropical Storm Debbie at the moment. We've been seeing strengthening and weakening, and that is weakening at the moment at 85 kilometers per hour. We are seeing lots of rain associated with this as well. And as we head through the next couple of days, we're going to see those remnants head towards Ontario, Maritime provinces, and then eventually in our neck of the woods as we get into the Saturday time frame. It is going to bring some a lot of moisture with it, and I can show you that here. So that moisture will start to affect the Maritime provinces for Friday, and then as we head into Saturday, that's when we'll start to see some of that moisture move in. And what this means is there's just a lot of rain, really, or the moisture in the atmosphere means we could see quite a bit of rain with this. That will continue through Sunday morning. Really, this is when we're going to see likely the heaviest rainfall associated with that. And as we get into Sunday evening, we should see that move offshore. So what does that mean rainfall-wise? Well, these models tend to underpredict the amount of rain that is going to fall with tropical systems. Most are pointing at somewhere between 30 to 50 millimeters, but when we start talking about those heavier rainfall amounts, potentially even some thunderstorms on Sunday, we could see higher amounts than that. But again, it's also going to be really hard to pinpoint exactly where the rain falls. But for now, it is looking like 30 to 50 plus possible for some areas across the island, particularly the west coast and maybe even the Avalon as well. So keep an eye on the forecast. We may see some rainfall warnings associated with this one as well. Like I said, not a whole lot of wind for this event, but just the rain. So for now, tonight it is going to be quiet. We're looking at temperatures between 11 to 13 degrees overnight, single digits in Lab West, otherwise between 9 to 12 degrees through the night tonight. Into tomorrow, again, another quiet day. We may see a few showers develop again on the west coast, mix of sun and cloud through the day, southeastern portions of Labrador as well as Happy Valley Goose Bay. You may see some showers to start the day, but overall it will be fairly nice, and we'll start to see some of that cloud cover from Debbie move in, or the remnants of Debbie move in that area of low pressure by the time we get into early Saturday morning, and then eventually that's when we will see those showers move through. Now, as far as our forecast goes for tomorrow, temperatures in the low 20s, again, relatively low humidity, winds out of the west anywhere from 30 to as much as 40 kilometers per hour. For Labrador, you are looking at temperatures in the 20s, really a beautiful day for you as well, with those winds a little breezy, near 50 kilometers per hour. The long-range forecast with that rain in it as we head into Monday, nice 25 degrees, 23 for Tuesday. Again, a return of some of those showers. For central and western Newfoundland, you will also see that rain for Saturday. Sunday clearing eventually, but really getting into some of those warmer temperatures, especially through central Newfoundland, 25, 26, dropping as we get into Tuesday. And then for Labrador, you are looking at that drop in temperatures on Monday, but rebounding quite nicely on Tuesday and staying in the low 20s, even mid-20s for Lab West. Our weather photo of the day is a lovely shot of the sun setting in Thurs Cove. Thank you so much to Terry for that. If you have any weather photos, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Oh, I love a good sunset. We've had a couple of nice ones lately, so thanks for sending that photo in.
It's actually the only multi-sport event, which includes athletes in Olympic sport, athletes with a physical disability, and athletes with an intellectual disability. There's no other organization that does that except the Canada Games.
Well, we're just 1 year away from St. John's playing host to the Canada Games. That's Vice Chair and Olympic speed skater Katrina LeMay-Doan, who joined host Adam Walsh on the Signal this afternoon, will bring you up to speed on how Canada performed at the Paris 2024 Olympics today. That's just ahead. Take a stroll through any local park and you'll get the perfect soundtrack for the summer. The sound of kids and dogs, splash pads, music coming through car speakers. We strolled through a park in St. John's to ask what you're playing on repeat.
What's the song of the summer?
Oh.
What's the song of the summer? Oh, that's such a good question. How are you today? Good. Okay, what's the song of the summer?
Ooh, it has to be Please, Please, Please by Sabrina Carpenter.
Please, Please, Please by Sabrina Carpenter is a big one.
I'm
gonna say Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. You say that as well. Or Please, Please, Please.
Yeah. Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
Please, 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 don't ruin
I think the one that I've heard a lot of is Hot to Go by Chapel Roan.
I'm gonna say Good Luck Babe by Chapel Roan.
I was gonna say the same thing. Actually, either that one or Pink Pony Club by Chapel Roan.
Most likely Pink Pony Club by Chapel Roan. I'm fully down to the chapel to pray these days, so.
Were you about to play it?
No, I wish.
You were like...
We totally should do some chapel old time tunes.
What's the song in the summer?
It's Brat Girl Summer, Charlie XCX all the way.
Same. I'm gonna say back to back. By Charlie.
Back to back by Charlie.
Back to back, that's the way.
What do you think makes a Brat Girl Summer?
Delinquent behavior.
She's just answering everything
Like being feral?
Absolutely, I'm a gremlin.
Yeah.
I'm hungover. Like,
I'm not hungover.
I'm not hungover, but like that's the vibe.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe of Brat Girl Summer.
100%, yeah.
Well, more medals were the vibe for Canadian athletes at the Paris Olympics today. The first came amid the drama and strain of weightlifting. That's Maude Sharon, who won silver in the women's 59-kilogram class. She was a gold medalist in Tokyo. In Taekwondo, Winnipeg's Skylar Park took the bronze medal, Canada's first in Taekwondo in 16 years. And today's action set the stage for more Canadian excitement. Sarah Minton secured a berth in the women's shot put final. And in women's beach volleyball, Brandy Wilkerson and Melissa Humana Paradis advanced to the gold medal match. And CBC's ongoing coverage of the Summer Games in Paris is the reason why we're slightly shorter and later this week. We'll be back to our regular time next week. Before I go, though, I should mention Bell Alliant customers in Happy Valley Goose Bay have been experiencing an interruption in their service after a car damaged a utility pole yesterday, which left about half of Bell's customers in town without any service. According to Bell, that service has just been restored, although crews are still working to repair the damage. And that does it for us for Here and Now for your Thursday evening. Myself and Ashley will be back tomorrow with more local news and weather. And for news anytime, you can always go to our website, cbc.ca/nl, or download the CBC News app. It's always a great way to stay connected when you're out and about. And it also means you can listen to some of our radio shows live. So there you go. That's my plug for the CBC products for tonight. I'm Peter Cowan. Thanks so much for watching.